Yeah, so obviously, good comeback. Down 4 runs in the first inning. It's not the way you want to start the game, and we're still, our weekdays is not the way we want to do it. You'd like to have a starter, a 4th starter, but because of our situation with pitching, we have to throw a lot of guys in these midweek games, and you can't extend them too far because you got to have them ready for the weekend. So, of course, Leck, he had been throwing very well for us. He just did not have a good night tonight. But fortunately, the other guys that came in threw very well and held them. And of course, all our runs were, except the one till the 8th, were unanswered there. I guess we scored 9 runs unanswered. It's a good job by our offense coming back there. Kind of a slow start for our offense too, but then you have the big inning, the 7 runs, which kind of got it done for us, and then we added to it a little bit. So, certainly not a perfect game, not the way you draw it up, but at the end of the day, we're trying to win games, and our guys did a good job of hanging in there and just finding a way to battle back and get it done.
Coach, you mentioned finding ways to find wins in this kind of setting against an in-state opponent. Just how empowering is this kind of win going into Wake Forest this week and a hard-hitting team?
Yeah, well, it's big because we lost to FAU, early in the few weeks back there, and you lose that midweek game. Even if you win 2 out of 3, you're going 2-2 on the week, and that's not what you're trying to do. That's not going to move you up the ladder. So the midweek games are big for multiple reasons. For that one too, you want to win games. Obviously, the midweek games are tough because we're playing in-state teams, like you said, and they're all good teams. FAU's maybe struggled of late, but they've got a good team. They're going to have a good year, and when you beat teams like that at the end of the season, you'll see it's going to have a good effect on our RPI. And beating teams like that, and we still have to play them 2 more times. This year we're playing them 4 times. But also, like you said, carrying over to you want to go into a weekend like this, having that midweek win under your belt, because we know this is obviously going to be a battle. Playing Wake Forest is arguably one of the best teams in the country, and certainly in the ACC. Playing at their place, which is a tough place to play. It's a short park. Ball flies out of there. That could be conducive for us too, though, because we hit a lot of balls. We hit some home runs, so I'm looking at that. It could be a positive for us, but we're going to have to pitch well, no doubt, and that they've got good pitching, good hitting. It's a great test and a great opportunity, which is what I told our players down in the locker room.
So 7th spot in the 4th inning, you get the home run out of Seer and then the one out of CJ Kafis. What's excited you about Seer to be able to fit in with the fabric of this program and the approach on power hitting?
Well, I tell you, he's hitting in the spot. He's in the 5th spot behind Yo-Yo and Zach. He's got more RBIs than all of our guys. He's had as many clutch hits as anybody I can think of. And he's handled himself really, really well as a freshman. Playing as a freshman is not easy nowadays with all these transfers and portal guys, and you're competing against older guys. And I mean, he's arguably our hottest hitter. He's been our best hitter from day 1 to now. There's no doubt about that in terms of being clutch and knocking guys in. So. And he had that day where I look at the day where he struck out 4 times in the game. Didn't bother him one bit. His body language was great. He still competed at the plate. He didn't cave in or cash in anything. To me, it says a whole. That for me as a coach, the guy making out the lineup, it says a whole lot for a guy that I know I can count on in terms of he's going to not always come through, but he's coming to the game and he's coming to the plate with a mindset that he's going to compete every single pitch, and he does. And he's been a huge, huge asset for our program.
Doubleheader, that win against Virginia Tech to close it out, then coming from behind tonight. What's the biggest thing you've learned about this team across the 5-game win streak?
Well, I mean, certainly the easy one to answer that is that being able to come back in games. That's not feeling like you're out of the game. Although I'd like for us to play with the lead too. That would be nice. But there's all kinds of different ways to win games. There's no one way to do it. As a coach, you want to be able to certainly play ahead, pitch and defend and all those things. We just didn't do that in the first inning. We had some mistakes. I'm sure if I go back and look at the videos, probably some good pitches to hit because they drove some balls. We made a couple errors. I know the one was Dom was just a crazy hop that he had to field. And what was our
the Carlos one on the stolen base?
Carlos on the stolen base that threw it into center field. So you don't want to make those kind of mistakes because they can come back and haunt you in close games. But when you have 10 hits, we've been hitting the ball. That's what's probably I'd like what I see is you can score runs In this game in college baseball, that's extremely important. There's just not a lot of 2-1 and 3-2 games as much as you might want or like, but it's just not. There's just not, and so you got to be able to score runs. Bottom line, and we've been doing that of late. So that's the thing that probably sticks out the most for me.
So then Rave Schlesinger comes in after the 1 1/3 inning start, his third scoreless appearance out of the season. What do you see out of him, and how do you believe he's improved from last year this year?
His confidence is just skyrocketed. He was struggling with it a little bit. He was struggling with feel for a little bit, but he had, for whatever reason, tinkered with his arm slot, and he got away from where he was at in the fall. And in the fall, he was pretty dominating, and I've said this before on other occasions when I met with the team individually, the players at the end of the fall. You have your meetings, individual meetings, and I asked all the hitters who's the toughest pitcher to face, and of course they gave you the standard couple guys, a couple of our starters, Walt. But his name popped up a lot of, and not just lefties that you would think, but righties as well too. And I made sure I told Rafe that because he was struggling in the spring, and I was telling you, where's his arm slots seem to have gone up? Why is it up there? And for whatever reason, he couldn't get his arm slot where it was. Well, he's got it now. He's got it back to where he feels comfortable, where he was in the fall. So that's big. He threw good. I mean, he threw strikes. He was able to. He's been able to get some righties out, which is important because we want him to be able to face righties too. You want him just to come into lefties. We need him to. We're short in our bullpen. We need our lefties to be able to get righties out as well as the lefties, and vice versa. But yeah, I mean, he can be an awkward at bat for some guys. Still room for improvement, but I can tell you his confidence is a lot better, and I hope only it gets better.
We'll do a couple more for Gino.
And the mood in the locker room post game tonight, going into that road trip this weekend.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It wasn't a lot of jumping and going crazy in there. We came off a really emotional 3-game sweep there and 4 games for the week, but the doubleheader was big, especially the way we came back in that. Their mood was good. I might have brought them back down to earth because I told them, look, the things that I'm going over, I'm not concerned. A 10-5 game against FAU, it doesn't come into play, but it will come into play this weekend. Probably will come into play. Trying to win a national championship against really, really top programs that you're competing against, it's going to come into play. And so there's some of the things that we need to do a better job of, whether it's 3-2 counts and not swinging at bad pitches, or double play. We had 3-2 double plays. One was walking across the plate on, he thought was ball 4, but the guy rung him up. You can't do that. And some of the mistakes on base running, which we've been working on, we got to do a better job of. I'd like to see us steal bases. The pitchers are very slow to the plate in this game today. Did not pick at all over at first base, and for whatever reason, we still can't steal second. And that's frustrating for me, a guy that wants to run badly. And I know we have guys that can run on our team, but just because you can run fast doesn't mean you can steal bases. We work on it. We're trying to get better at it. It's another avenue of ways to score runs, because you're not always going to crank out 10, 15 hits and 4 or 5 home runs a game and a bunch of runs, 10-plus runs, double-digit runs. That's just not going to happen, especially against really, really good teams in pitching.
I'm sure it's not an overnight change or turnaround, to be able to steal bases, get in a scoring position in those big spots, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, it's no, this is something that's, I don't expect it. It's something we've been working on since the fall. We work on it every day, and we've been doing it in the spring. We worked on base running yesterday for about 20, 25 minutes at the end of practice, working on not just stealing, just getting jumps. We had a man on first and second, 2 outs, and the runner at first today was the go-ahead run. And the ball was hit, and he stood still with 2 outs. He didn't react to it. That can't happen. We had a ball there late. Dom hit a ball in the left center gap with 1 out, I think it was, and we didn't get a good jump. We sat there and watched the ball, and it fell right in between the left fielder and center fielder, and we didn't even move. And we worked on this just yesterday. We did all this stuff yesterday. But we will continue to work on it and hopefully get better for it.
I'm going into this
Last question for you.
Going into the Wake Forest series, what's the main message to rotation going to the ACC for the first time on the road this year?
Well, I haven't given him a message other than, you got a great opportunity here with the team that's hot. And I think I just said I don't need to say any more than that. But I will talk to him certainly when we get up there tomorrow for practice or after practice, and of course before the game on Friday. Yeah, I mean, anytime you got a chance to, you're playing a team that's really, really good, and you're playing in their ballpark, which we have I guess we haven't played too many games on the road, but we haven't done as well as we want to do on the road. This is a great chance. When you play on the road, man, stakes are even greater when you win. Stakes are even higher. The rewards are even higher from the rankings and the RPI and all that stuff. But I haven't talked too much about that, rankings and stuff. I don't want to really get too much into that. I just want us to play good baseball. I want us to pitch good. I want us to hit good. I want us to defend good. I want us to do good base running, because I told them this, and I was before the game. If you do those things, you're going to win every game. You're not going to do all four categories better than the other team every game. But if you do 2 or 3 of them better than the other team, you're going to win most of the games. If you out hit, out pitch, and out defend, and throw in the base running, and you do most of them better than the other team, you're going to win most of the games. And so we're trying to do a better job of that. We didn't out defend them today. I don't think we out base run them today, but we did out hit them, and our bullpen out pitched them for sure. So that still got it done in 110-5. Imagine if you did all the other things, how well you can play. And that's what you're striving to do as a coach, trying to get your program, your players to play like that.
Thanks, Coach.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.